Hello YouTubers, my name's Jason Skill. This is going to be a fast Seascape video. Did one of these about a decade ago. It's got loads of hits. Thought I'd show you it with maybe actually explaining a little bit about it. Obviously the full how to paint Seascape video series, if you're interested in some of the methods I show you, that's going to be on Studio. Studio is my educational site, and that's where you can watch videos and you know, talk to each other and get feedback on your work, and that's, you can join that, see the free stuff, and then you can subscribe and become a member of Studio. So let's have a look at what I'm going to use. I'm going to use some blotting paper. This is just thin gold medal blotting paper. Water, this is just a sheet of Bockingford. That's Aureolin yellow, permanent magenta, raw sienna, raw umber, burnt sienna, burnt umber. This is French ultramarine, cobalt blue, Windsor blue, red shade, Prussian blue, cerulean blue, turquoise blue, and a vivid green. I hope you remember that, because I'm going to test you on it at the end. I'm joking. Anyway, the whole host of colours, and I'm just going to mix them up, right, and make a kind of a mishmash of colour. You'll see. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wet the page. Basically, I'm wetting this all over. This is just water, and yeah, I have just stuck this down with masking tape. I haven't stretched it, mainly because this is just kind of an exercise to show you something. But if you want to stretch it, this might be easier. So I'm just a bit more water. Make sure that this is nice and wet. Okay. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to mix the colours, and you'll see that it almost looks like mud pies. I'm making kind of a mishmash of colours mixed together. The idea is that they separate and float on the page. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let's just, no, this is fresh squeezed out colour. Okay, this is the Aureolin, maybe a tiny touch of the rose. I'm going to make, just basically what I'm going to do first is just make some slightly pooled versions of those colours so I can dip into them. And I'm going to start to work with it slightly more heavy in a bit, but let's just get some of these colours flowing, ready to go when we start to do the picture. Also, the paint here, this will be settling down a little bit, sinking in, giving me perhaps a little bit longer. Also now I'm going to go back around the edges of this. It has a tendency to dry at the edges and then evening out the water again. Okay, now I'm going to go thicker, more heavy in my mixes. You'll see this is much more sort of stickier, heavier mix. And this doesn't look like normal kind of watercolour paint mixing. Right, I'm going to now touch it on here and see what that looks like. So basically, I'm going to make this flow into a bit of a gully, and let's kind of, I'm just experimenting with putting colours together, see what they look like. Dilute that down a bit. Maybe I'll bring more of the green of that in. Maybe I have more of a sky kind of going on here. A little bit darker. Coming down to this. Okay, it should begin to be starting to look a little bit more convincing as some kind of flowing form going that way. I'm going to go back heavier now. Darker, heavier paint. I'm trying to get the density there, the darkness there. I'm also trying to build kind of dark and light sections. Let's go back up into the sky. Let's have a little bit more. Maybe I'm going to just spatter this a bit in the foreground. Sometimes I'll use a spray bottle to do this, but A little bit darker here perhaps. Right, now I'm taking the blotting paper, I'm going to take some of it and I'm going to crunch it. Right, and I'm going to like that, basically crash. Now I'm getting the crashing wave. I'm also then going to use maybe the edge of the blotting paper here. Draw with it slightly blind. Okay, I'm going to crunch a bit and I'm going to just come back in this way. This is a method that took me quite a number of years to develop, and I will be quite soon creating a course explaining all of the various bits of this kind of approach to watercolor painting on studio. So there we are, let's have a look at that, and then let's crunch a bit of this, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll go across here, make that a little bit more dramatic, and I'll perhaps come back and now just try to join up some of these longer marks. Drama of it rolling. See if I can get the drama of it rolling this way, and that kind of coming up and meeting, sort of interconnecting bits. And there we have it. Basically, quick seascape. What am I doing? I'm thinking about the flow, the shape, the main drivers of it. I'm letting the wet in wet do some of that work and trying to do it in quite a fast and exciting way. So let's have a look at that again. Looks reasonably like sort of churned up water. What's that look like? I'm sure it looks a lot better if I took the tape off. But if I took the tape off at this point, it probably wouldn't settle down to be flat again. So remember, you want to join Studio, you go to my site, there's the address, www.studio.jasonskill.com, or if you want to sign up subscribe to my YouTube channel, there's a little red button below this on YouTube. Click that, follow the various directions, and then that'll tell you when new videos are added. And I'm going to do a whole series of little fast little fast watercolor paintings for you to, and hopefully that gets you excited about painting watercolor, because it's a fantastic medium. It's got so much to offer, and also perhaps joining a studio where you can learn all the intricacies of watercolor painting and become a bit of an expert yourself. Okay, so I hope that has been helpful and fun, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.